Hey everybody, welcome to episode 18 of the Celebrity Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Bestany. How the fuck are you? Me, I'm pretty fucking shitty because I have a lot to tell you this week. So let's just get into it. Life update number 1. It's time for a life update. I have really bad news to share with you guys this week. So I was doing the show on Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. And I was having a cup of water because my regular bottle with the cap was in the washing machine. And then I was recording the episode, dipping and doing, serving the tea as per usual, and then boom, cup of water spills all over my laptop. Yes, the laptop, and it goes cold immediately. Darkness. That's all I saw at that point. Therefore, I cannot give you the episode on time this week. But, however, we do have a lot to talk about this week, so let's do it!
Are you ready to hear the tea? Let's get started.
This week, not only are we mourning my laptop, my beloved MacBook Air, but we are mourning the loss of a pop culture gift, which is Lohan Beach Club. Did I watch it? No. But Lindsay is just iconic, and the fact that she, after all these years, after all these jail sentences, all these courtroom appearances, she's able just to come back and just dip it and do it and reinvent herself. However, her venture didn't pan out as one would hope. The premise of the show is she was the owner of a nightclub in Mykonos, Greece, and she had a staff full of good-looking waitresses and waiters, chefs, and you know what I mean? That type of reality show. It's MTV. But toodaloo, Lindsay, MTV is not renewing Lohan Beach Club for a second season, and if you look now, the club that was the center of the entire show is now up for sale and was sold and boarded up and shit like that. I included a link below if you want to check out the pictures. The Lohan sign in the front is torn down. But for those Lindsay supporters, which I am, it's not all bad for Lindsay. A source told People Magazine, aka one of Lindsay's coke friends from the club, told People Magazine that MTV had been trying to make something work for season 2. Yeah, I'm sure they were really trying. But as of now, it's not happening. That source then goes on to say, there weren't any issues with the club. It was a fun place, but Lindsay just decided to cash in. It was just purchased by Blue Marlin Ibiza Group for $8 million. But check this out, people. She bought the shit for $1 million only 2 years ago. So guess what? She made a profit. Yes, at the end of this, Lindsay is still winning. Good job, Lindsay. Too bad you don't have a show anymore, though. Give me a show, though. Celebrity Tea Podcast. The show. I think it has a ring to it, don't you? All right. R. Kelly is back in the news. Apparently, he is supposed to be paying his baby mama, mother of his daughter, who is now 23 years old. Yes, 23 years old. We'll get to that later. However, he is apparently months behind on his child support. I always thought that child support ended at 18, as the Kanye song once said. So is that wrong? Is my entire life a lie? Or what? You know what I mean? I guess whatever deal that they had in their divorce included him to pay $20,000 a month. Even if the kid was 2 years old, what the fuck? Are you giving them diamond encrusted diapers or some shit? There's no reason why anybody needs $20,000 per month for a child. You know what I mean? There's people who live for a lot less than that. So it's just whatever. I mean, I'm not defending him because he's a piece of shit. Let's be real. The daughter made a video, Happy Father's Day, saying that hopefully he's in jail by next Father's Day. That's what his own daughter is hoping. So, R. Kelly, you are just killing it. His wife actually made some suggestions, which was nice of her, I suppose. You know, it's nice of her making suggestions and shit. Her suggestion was for him to get a job at Del Taco. And she said he would be the first hip-hop king. He would be the first hip-hop king to wrap a burrito, which love that for her, kind of. And then his lawyer actually bonded and said she needs to get a fucking life. Hold on, let me get the exact quote because I'm a journalist. All right, the lawyer literally said she needs to get a life, and he's currently behind $32,000. So, girl. Basically, R. Kelly believes that Drea, the baby mama's name, is using the child support to fund her own lifestyle and says it's time for her to get a job. And he suggested McDonald's and Burger King is a viable option, and she too has responsibility to pay for their kids. So, yeah, it's a messy divorce, and honestly, you're making a fool out of yourselves. R. Kelly, you have bigger problems than to worry about your shit. Like, I know I know the money's not coming out at this point, but just pay this girl the $21,000 a month until you get in the slammer, and then I'm sure you won't have to pay anymore because, yeah, I'm sure she's using the money to, like, get her nails done and shit, but, like, because, again, nobody needs $21,000 a month in anything. Anyway, researching this bullshit, I think, made me dumber. Therefore, I needed somebody else's opinion, just to make sure I'm not crazy. And it has to be somebody I trust. And I think you know who it is. She's a regular correspondent here in the Celebrity Tea podcast. And before we get into the R. Kelly bullshit, I have a little story to tell you, which also made this week a piece of shit. Roll it. It's time for a life update. Have you ever had a time in your life when you thought that things were going to get better for you every way, and then all of a sudden it was just ripped away from you? Before we introduce our next guest, I gotta tell you something. Something happened. I thought that the podcast was really going to take off. Yes, we had some chart success last week and this week. There's always room for improvement, and I thought the podcast was going to get the jump that we desperately need. All right, here's the story. Alright, this is a little painful for me, and I didn't really get to hire a therapist yet to deal with it. So I thought that I was just going to share it with you. So I get a text one day. It's my friend Jillian, contributor of the Celebrity Tea podcast, aka star of Jillian's Tidbit. I said, fuck. She texted me. So I text back, what's up? And she's all like, so I was walking my dog at work today, and we were walking, and all of a sudden, we see somebody. I'm like, all right, like, I have shit to do, so, who did you see, Jillian? And she's like, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, the iconic rock star, just said how cute my dog was and that he is a new tenant in the same building as my office. And I was like, Jillian, we're gonna be famous. You, like, have to talk to him and get him on the show. Please, do it now. Go talk to him. Bring him cookies or some shit. Do whatever. Get him on the show. And she's like, all right, let me just form a relationship with him, bring my dog around a few more times, and, then I'll ask him. And I was like, all right, fine. Be a bitch, be annoying, be unsupportive, but I'm willing to wait. Do what you gotta do. So time went on. Different interactions happened. Pretty much twice a week, she would have some kind of interaction with him. And I was like, all right, she's in Vegas, so that's normal. Like, obviously, Steven Tyler is going to be in the same office as her, right? Like, I didn't think anything of it. Then, all of a sudden, one day, my biggest nightmare came true. A few months went by, a few more interactions went by, and she's like, I have something to tell you. And I was like, all right, yeah, I got shit to do, but I guess I'll, clear my schedule to talk to you for a few seconds, but make it snappy, you know what I mean? I'm busy. And she's like, you know how I said that I was trying to build a connection with Steven Tyler? And I'm like, yeah, like, totally. When is he coming on? Like, set him up. And she's like, well, he's actually an impersonator. And I was like, what? You know what? It's too painful for me. Let's just bring her on so she can explain herself. Roll it.
Jillian's Tidbits.
Welcome back, Jillian. It's been a few weeks since you've been on your own segment. How does it feel to be back? All right, so I just told the story of our little debacle that happened. So I just have a few questions for you, and then we'll move on, I promise, because, again, it's still a very sore subject in her heart.
It really is. I went through all 7 stages of grief.
What made you... Okay, at what moment did you reach the realization that he was an imposter?
So they finally put his company's name inside my building because he doesn't have a sign on his door or anything. And he doesn't want it because he wants it to be really, really private. But we have it on the inside of our building. And my boss texted me one day and she was like, so I researched the name and then she told me his real name and everything. I was in denial. I was still like, well, maybe this is like him just being super undercover.
I thought you were going to give us A-list fucking guest on the Celebrity podcast, and it's just ruined. But guess what? I forgive you.
But like he can still be on because he's like he really is. He literally makes his living off of being Steven Tyler's shadow, basically. Like
obviously he's making some kind of money if he's renting office space for the cause, right?
Well, and he drives a $100,000 car, but yeah, sure. Office.
Yes. So like I need to see a picture of him and post it somewhere.
I literally sent you like 6 pictures of him, so take your pick.
Well, yeah. I'll have my assistant go through that. All right, let's just move on. We have a lot to talk about, and we have a game to play with you before you go. But we got to make it quick because this episode is going to be too long. So, tell your dog, can you dog? So as I told everybody before, I'm just going to debrief you. R. Kelly, I think you were on a few episodes ago when we were talking about him, but basically he has to pay $20,000 of child support to his ex-wife / baby mama, and the kid is 23 years old. What? I always thought that it was 18, but apparently they have like this clause that it's 23. So he has to pay $20,000 a month for a 23-year-old. Number one, what do you think of that? Like, well, yeah, he's a piece of shit, regardless. But yeah, other than that,
he's a piece of shit. But like, I thought you only had to pay up until 18, so I don't know. That's weird.
Either way, like $20,000 a month. What are they doing?
It's based off of the father's salary or something like that. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but like I think it's based off of something like that. And so since R. Kelly was making a lot of money at one point, obviously he's gonna have to pay more in child support. Otherwise, it's not fair if like the dad is like a billionaire and only gives like $5,000 a month for their kid.
I guess true. All right. Now we're gonna play pop culture trivia.
Yeah.
So the rules are I'm going to ask you a question, and if you don't get it right, okay, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If you get 2 out of 3, you win. And if not, you're booed off the stage. All right?
Okay, what do I win now?
Your first question. Are you ready?
No, like what do I win?
That's to be determined. Are you ready?
I'm not going to win anything. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Name all of the Golden Girls.
Betty White. And I don't know the other 3.
Wow. All right.
You name them, Nick.
Blanche, Dorothy, Sophia, and Rose. Literally everybody knows that. I'm embarrassed already. You got 2 more chances to redeem yourself. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Why did Zoe 101, the iconic piece of art, end? Go.
She got pregnant. She had sex in a church closet with her boyfriend at the time and got pregnant.
Yes, even with that extra teeth.
That was my show.
All right, 1 out of 3. So you could redeem yourself with this next question. Britney Spears is iconic and she was in Vegas, but she fucking cancels her show, which I'm pissed because I'm coming there in 2 weeks and she is no longer doing a concert, but that's for another episode. Anyways. What was her first single that launched her career? Go.
Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Fuck. All right, you won. Yay. All right, thanks for joining us tonight, Jillian. All right, goodbye, bitch.
All right, bye. Oh, was I supposed to like research anything?
Gotta love her, gotta hate her. Next topic. Nicki Minaj, as everybody Knows released her newest single, Megatron, last Friday. And she released the video, and her boyfriend, apparently fiance, she went on Queen Radio and said that her and her boyfriend recently got out of prison for all these allegations, which allegedly include sexual assault and attempted murder and all this bullshit. But Nicki, all right, Nicki, I'm a big fan of Nicki, so I'm trying, girl, trying. Anyways, she included the boyfriend in the music video, or, making out in a hot tub. He was putting his hand on her titties and all that. And apparently sources, I don't know where all these sources come from. They never name them, but apparently they're a source. You're about to hear a lot of sources say on the Celebrity Tea podcast, so does that make it true? Like, I could totally make shit up and I'll just be like, a source said Mary-Kate Olsen took a dump in the gym, not in the toilet. You know what I mean? A source said. So could I say that? I'll get back to you on that. I'm wondering too. Anyway, sources close to Nicki said that she's unmoved by the criticism, adding, she's happy and in love and he's not going anywhere. They're also crowing that the video had millions of views just 12 hours in. His name is Petty, apparently, so, that's a great name. That's redeeming. Apparently, the video was meant to mirror the affection that they have for each other. So that's cute. Great, Nicki. Do what you want. I just think she's going through it. I think she's going through that little Kim phase where she's like, shit, I'm not the youngest, hottest thing anymore. And it happens. Everybody has their time. Cardi B is just it right now, but that doesn't mean she's the best. So Nicki, relax. Cardi doesn't even know where the fuck she is half the time. So Nicki, you're better. So don't do all this crazy shit. All right, that's all I gotta say about that. Speaking of Cardi is facing the consequences for a brawl that happened actually in October of 2018. There was a brawl at a nightclub and bottles were thrown. Basically, Cardi goes into the club where her fiance, she goes to the strip club where he's at and pops bottles. Her crew just wreaks havoc. People were hurt because apparently one of the strippers slept with her fiance, which I'll never understand. That the girl always tries to fight the girl. The girl doesn't owe you shit. It's your partner and your significant other in the relationship who is in charge of the loyalty. Cardi was indicted by a grand jury on multiple charges, including 2 felonies. It's pretty shitty. I actually have traffic court on Monday, so I could relate. I ran a stop sign in February, and which is not even a stop sign because it's not even a road, but all right. Cardi was arrested in October for allegedly ordering an attack on 2 strip club bartenders. Their names were Jade and Batty G. Stand-up names. All right, Jade and Batty G. The 2 women claimed that they were injured during the brawl when Cardi's people began throwing bottles and chairs. All right. The incident, which went down in August, was allegedly triggered after Cardi accused Jade of sleeping with Offset, which is the husband, who literally looks like a younger Flava Flav. Let's be honest. Anyways, Cardi, it's your fiance who needs to maintain the loyalty in the situation. So don't be going to clubs and throwing bottles. Number one, those shits are expensive, especially at clubs. Literally, 1 drink is $8, so don't be throwing things. She was initially charged with 2 misdemeanors, assault and reckless endangerment, but she was offered some kind of plea deal, which she rejected. The prosecution told TMZ last month that they decided to take the matter to the grand jury because of information they discovered during their investigation. They would not be specific. So more on that. We will see. Will Cardi spend time in jail? Who knows? Will anybody be surprised? Probably not. Either way, I will be serving you the tea as it is presented to the world, as per usual. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Follow us on social media, Instagram at Celebrity Tea Pod, Facebook at Celebrity Tea Podcast, and visit our fucking website, will you? www.celebrityteapodcast.com. Go to that website. If you shop on Amazon, which I know you do, if you don't, you're lying, and I resent that. Go to the website, click the Amazon button if you want something. It's the 4th of July coming up. So let's say you want a flag bikini or a Penguin Float. Go to thecelebritytpodcast.com, go to Amazon, the ad, click on it, and then just buy it as you normally would. And it helps out your favorite podcast at no extra cost to you. So, like, honestly, what are we doing here? Next week, we are doing a special show on location in Las Vegas. We will be talking about the epic battle that is developing, I don't even want to say too much about it right now, between Taylor Swift and manager to the stars, Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun, if you don't know who he is, he's a manager for people like Justin Bieber, Demi Lovato, Ariana Grande, and a bunch of other motherfuckers. In a nutshell, Taylor's last label, which she signed with when she was just 15 years old, she released 6 albums under their home, under their platform. Scooter Braun bought that label for $300 million. I don't even make that in like 2 months, which means he owns Taylor's entire music catalog, including videos. So Taylor responded, and then a bunch of people responded back to Taylor saying she's a liar. A bunch of shit is going on. Taylor is in yet another scandal. He's always getting into shit. Story developing. We will talk about it next week not live because it's a podcast, but all right, it just sounds better. Live from Vegas. I will be talking to you then. Bye. Also, sorry the podcast was late. All right, goodbye.